President Trump has issued a new directive encouraging school choice and education freedom. Across America, parents frustrated with public education are searching for better options. Today, Lisa Fletcher takes us inside a new kind of school that gives families more control: microschools.
You're going to find a different way to achieve your goal. What is the most important step in that process?
This is Acton Academy Falls Church, a so-called microschool based in an unassuming storefront 10 miles west of Washington, D.C. in Virginia. It's a teaching approach that customizes education to fit each student's needs, interests, and learning styles.
Ooh, it's an 8. So that means I have to put 8 cards down.
150 years ago, a microschool could have passed for a one-room schoolhouse with kids from different grades learning in the same classroom. This modern version has been around since the 1970s, but really started growing in the early 2000s. The COVID pandemic accelerated the growth. At this school, and some 95,000 others like it in the U.S., students are grouped by ability rather than grade level. And sometimes, class isn't held in a classroom at all. On this day, kids ages 6 to 9 learn about the science of color by mixing different water paints.
It shape a little?
Oh, I see.
Older kids between 10 and 13 tackle tougher topics like how to achieve a goal.
Will you focus on improving the skill you struggle with, or would you try to find an alternative path to success?
I have huge dreams and I need to break it down.
11-and-a-half-year-old Sam explains how learning here works.
Okay, so for parents who aren't familiar with this kind of education, they might look at it and say, well, they seem to like it and they're having a lot of fun, but how much are they learning?
We learn a lot more than you'd expect here. If you're reading something, you won't just be reading about this subject the whole time. They'll actually show you how to do it and show you what it is. You'll be doing it and you'll learn how to do it.
10-year-old Izzy.
We have this thing called passion projects. And you pick a project that you really like. You just work on it. And I feel like it's more open. It's not just sitting at a desk where the teacher tells you what to do. And then when you get home, there's an hour of homework.
At 13, Katie is the oldest in the class.
Parents who see this, oh, they're having fun, they might, how are they even learning? It's because we want to. We want to learn. We want to get ahead. We want to see the progress that we've made and help each other do it as well.
Government definitions of what constitutes microschools are rare, and only some states give them official designation. Broadly speaking, microschools are multifamily learning environments serving children from kindergarten through high school. They can be formed by parents, churches, or companies like Minds in Motion or Acton Academy, which operates this school. It's estimated that between 1.1 and 2.1 million children attend microschools, about the same number attending Catholic schools. Microschools can be free because they are supported by taxpayers through vouchers, or cost more than $20,000 if private.
Parents really have come a long way in understanding that not every school meets every need of their child or children.
Jeannie Allen founded the Center for Education Reform, a group that supports microschools.
For decades, parents were very dissatisfied with education, but they thought it was their child. They thought it was their misunderstanding. They thought there was something wrong with what they were expecting. If I see my 4th grader or my 9-year-old is like a budding artist, why wouldn't I want her being exposed to real forms of art earlier without being put aside like it's an alternative or an extracurricular?
Does that come at the expense of all of the other parts of academics?
There's actually more education going on across a wider variety of subject areas that you typically get in a 7.5 hour school day that's prescribed with 40 or 50-minute blocks.
These programs are obviously designed to make the lives of students better. But how does it impact a parent's life who maybe felt unheard?
The one word that parents use more than anything when it comes to their involvement with microschools is empowerment.
So I ran over and put my hand
For Izzy's mom, Meredith Davis, collaborating with the school and other parents to set goals for the kids is one of the things that attracted her to microschools. With her son Anderson also attending, she values the opportunity to be actively involved in shaping their education.
For most people, it's very safe to go with what you know. And for millions of parents, despite frustration with traditional education, they're sticking with it because it's what they know and it's what we've done here in the United States forever.
We spend more per child on education than any other country, and our educational outcomes, our learning outcomes, are pretty abysmal, actually. So what you know and what you're comfortable with might not actually be doing that well.
Microschools don't typically give letter grades or standardized tests, and there's no good data showing how many students go on to college.
Microschools, of course, are getting pushback in states and in many communities, not from parents or educators, but from government regulators who don't know what to do with something that operates and looks so unique and different. Education is probably the industry that has the largest amount of vested interest in people who want to protect what they have.
For 10-year-old Judah, unique and different is exactly why microschool works for him.
We get to chill, we get to wear whatever we want. We don't really have to sit in desks and always be perfect.
Yeah, it looks like a great model for some kids. You know, a lot of these alternative plans came about or expanded during the Biden administration. Any thoughts as to what the Trump administration might do?
Well, throughout his campaign, President Trump has vowed to save American education. So he's proposed a parental bill of rights, which would require curriculum transparency. And he's talked about ramping up funding to schools where parents elect the principal and reduce the number of administrators. And then there's also growing support in the House and Senate for the 529 plans, which are savings plans typically used for college, but now to be allowed to use them for things like microschools or homeschooling.
Interesting times.
Yeah.